What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we will be talking about the history of Eddie and his scare zone at Halloween Horror Nights 2021. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have another Halloween Horror Nights history video coming right at you. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for joining me again in this insanity. If you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, and this is where we take everything spooky and nerdy and we squish it all together. I've been diving into a lot of Halloween Horror Nights, the houses, the scare zones, the history, and today we're going to talk about a specific character, a icon, if you will, that is featured in a scare zone this year. We are, of course, talking about Eddie Schmidt and his scare zone, Lights, Camera, Hacktion. Before we go any further, if you like Halloween Horror Nights and the history and all the spooky stuff that goes along with it, you should definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this in the future. The event this year started on September 3rd, and we're now getting to the end of September, which is crazy, and we're rolling into October. So I know a few of you have already gotten to experience Halloween Horror Nights and all the spooky things that it has to give us this year, and I have as well. I went kind of by accident already. I wasn't supposed to go yet. I had a vacation planned to go to Halloween Horror Nights at the end of this month, and well, you know, Hurricane Ida was like, nah, we ain't doing that. But I ended up evacuating the area and going to the event for 2 days. So I have experienced this Camera Lights Hacktion scare zone, but I know a lot of you are going through this scare zone and you're looking around, you're taking it all in. They have all these little stages and all these different characters and themes, and then they got this dude in the middle that's all jacked with a chainsaw, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. Well, this video is for you. I'm gonna break this down. Who is Eddie? Why is he making a movie? What is going on in the scare zone? So sit tight, grab a drink, and let's get on into it. To start off this little history lesson, we're gonna take it back to 2000. Now this was the 10th year anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights, and they knew they had to do something different and creative and big to make this event something special. So they created a face for the event, what they would call an icon, and that was Jack the Clown. Now, you guys know Jack the Clown. He is the face of this event, and he is back for 2021 in a big way. Now, Jack the Clown is a killer clown with a love for carnage, and he went over extremely well with audiences at Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, people love this dude. They love this dude, and I mean, I'm no different. If he showed up right now and he was like, say girl, I would scream at him like he's Elvis. It would get weird. So they knew with 2001, they needed to go bigger. They needed to follow up with an even bigger icon that people would love. For the 11th annual Halloween Horror Nights, a new icon was born. Eddie, who is Jack's demented brother. Much like Jack, he wears clown makeup, but he covers it up with a crazy looking mask, kinda Hannibal Lecter-ish, and he has a love for 80s slasher films, which, I mean, who doesn't? They're tight. And not only was this dude demented, but he loved chainsaws. Big ol' loud, scary chainsaws. The intention for 2001 and their icon Eddie was to make this event even more brutal and gory and scary and intense than it had ever been. However, on September 11th, the world changed forever. The terrorist attacks of 9/11 broke the hearts of America, and as a result, the world stopped. It was a weird time, and nobody knew how to handle things. Nobody knew what was the right thing to do, if we could celebrate, if we could laugh. And Halloween Horror Nights was no different. They knew that we were living in strange times, and people were very, very scared, and it was a time to take this event, kind of tone it back a little bit. Because the world was in a sensitive state, they had to alter this event drastically. So they did all kinds of things. They removed anything red, anything. I'm not just talking about blood, which any blood they replaced with green ooze, but also like red lights, everything, no red. And on top of all of these changes, our main icon, Eddie, was taken away and Jack returned for the event. So before Eddie was taken away, not only was he going to be the main icon, but he was going to have a featured house at the event called Run. This house was a game show that had chainsaw-wielding goons that would chase after contestants. Now, they still had the house, but they obviously removed Eddie, and altogether just toned down the house. Eddie was not featured at the event until 2004 when he was in the Icon's house, Horror Nights Nightmares. This house brought him together with other icons like Jack, the director, and the caretaker. Eddie finally got his revenge in 2006 when they had a sequel to his would-be house Run. It was titled Run, Hostile Territory. However, the story changed a bit this time. Instead of an evil game show, Eddie and his chainsaw goons were essentially running a business where people could come in and just torture people for fun. Just, you know? Why not? It was also loosely based on the 2005 film Hostel. He was again featured in 2010 for the scare zone Fear Revealed and the house Horror Nights: The Hallowed Past. And again with another anniversary house where they brought back icons in 2015 with the scare zone Icons HHN and the house Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem, which is supposed to be like one of the best houses of all time. Sadly, I did not get to experience that. Now, all of this brings us to the event in 2021, where Eddie is featured in his own scare zone, Lights, Camera, Hacktion, Eddie's Revenge. In this scare zone, you're entering a movie backlot where a movie is being filmed about the creatures of Halloween Horror Nights. But then the real monsters, led by Eddie Schmidt himself, show up and wreak havoc. So as you're walking through the scare zone, you have a middle stage where Jack is up there looking buff as hell with his chainsaw, which, can we talk, why is he so buff? Why is he so buff? Can we talk about that? Whoa. Dude's up there guns a-blazing, okay? So he's in this middle stage and he's walking around, he's like overseeing everybody, wreaking his havoc, and apparently sometimes Jack shows up, which the 2 days I was there, I unfortunately did not get to experience, which I'm very sad about, but I'm trying to get over it. But on the edges of both sides of the street, you have little stages set up for all these scare zones of the past. 2002's Treeks and Foons, 2010's Fear Revealed, 2011's Grown Evil, 2012's The Legions of Horror, 2014's Masquerade Unstitched, 2016's Vamp 55, 2016's Dead Man's Wharf, 2017's Invasion, 2018's Twisted Tradition, and also Chainsaw Carnies, and 2019's Vanity Ball and Vikings Undead. So if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights past, you're gonna recognize a lot of these characters. I was excited that there was actually some scare zones that I've experienced in the past that were in this, such as Invasion, Vanity Ball, and Vikings Undead. So it was cool to see some familiar faces in the spooky zone. Now this zone also kind of serves as a sequel because back in 2009, they also had a scare zone called Lights, Camera, Hacktion. Very much like this year's, it was about filmmakers making a movie based on the Chainsaw Drill Team, but oh no, it was the actual Chainsaw Drill Team wreaking havoc, killing all of you. Oh no. You can experience this scare zone without knowing any of this information because at the end of the day, a lot of these characters are recognizable. Like even if you don't know them from Halloween Horror Nights, you see an alien, oh no, alien. It's a very entertaining scare zone and I think you can enjoy it on its own. But I think it's always kind of fun to know the background story and why it is what it is. Let me know in the comments down below if you've already hit up Halloween Horror Nights, what you thought of Eddie's scare zone, and what your favorite scare zone was. So that is my brief history and breakdown on Eddie Schmidt, who he is, and why this dude's making a movie. I hope this helped your Halloween Horror Nights experience. If there's any other particular Halloween Horror Nights history that you would like to learn about that I haven't covered, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll make that video next. And maybe in that video I won't use so many finger guns, but I can't promise that because they are unstoppable. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because in the next video we will be talking about the Terror Queen, and I know you don't want to miss that. And I'll catch you nerds in the fall.